And my next guest will face Mark Gardner at NEF 47 on May the 14th. And of course, it is the Ryan Sanders back on the show. Ryan, how you doing?
I've been good, man. How you been?
I'm fantastic. It's nice to see you again. And we talked a little bit here before we actually started this interview. Man, it's been a while since we've seen you compete. November of 2018. It's been a very, very long time. How excited are you?
It's been too long. I'm extremely excited. On a scale of 1 to 10, it's a 17, man. I missed the game. I missed being away. I missed everything about fighting. And, I'm just excited to get back in the cage.
Obviously, you've been working on your craft since we've seen you last, that big win over Jacob Bond. What areas of your game do you feel like you've changed the most since we've seen you fight last?
Well, I'm now training at a Vision Quest Muay Thai with Primo I was the number one guy when I fought last, and I had basic striking and mediocre wrestling. And with Primo, I've shored up those parts of my game. And, he's just giving me a lot of confidence to win the fight wherever it goes.
Is it frustrating to you, though? I mean, because you are smack in the middle of your prime right now as far as your athletic years go, and you missed out on a few years of active competition. Is that hard for you to deal with mentally?
It was a bit frustrating, but with COVID, all the regional promotions shut down, so a lot of guys regionally lost a couple of years of their ability to fight. So it is what it is. A bit frustrating, but it's just part of my journey, and I just got to roll with it.
So I think the biggest thing that a lot of people want to see from you here moving forward, you're up a weight class at 170. Obviously, you fought at welterweight before, but you had most of your success at lightweight, 155. So what's going to be different now for you at 170?
So when I fought at 170 previously, I was walking around at like a buck 78 or so. I was a small welterweight. And then I went down to 55 and, resurrected my career and stuff like that. I'm walking around at either side of 190 right now. I put on a little bit of muscle. I'm a bit stronger. I got that old man strength. I'm not too worried about it. I'm just looking forward to the challenges of the new breed of welterweights. I want to see what they're capable of.
So when you look at where you're at right now, I mean, you're still in your early 30s. How much time do you have left? Because I know your goal is to make it to the highest of levels. Like, where do you think you are right now? And do you think you can get to the UFC?
Well, like I just said, man, I was number one previously, and I'm only getting better. I think I have a couple years left, and let's see where it goes. All I gotta do is just keep winning. Like I was saying years ago, if I keep winning, they can't deny me. That's still my mindset. And Mark's my next test, and I'm looking forward to that test. And I win the next one, and just keep the ball rolling.
We'll get to that fight with Mark here soon, which is a really interesting matchup. First, just recap that win over Jacob Bond for me. That was down at the Aura nightclub in Portland, Maine, November of 2018. How happy are you with that performance?
I was pretty happy. I mean, early on, if you watch, I went to that grappling mindset. I kept going for the guillotine. He was a wrestler, and I let him play his game. And that's the biggest thing that Primo's been, talking to me about is just don't let people play that game. No agreements. And I let him wrestle and get me to the ground and stuff like that because I was trying to go for that choke early. If you watch in the second round, I stop a lot of his takedowns, and then I'm able to implement my game plan, get on top, and then I landed that elbow. And, shortly after that, the fight was stopped. But I give it a strong 6.5.
Okay. I mean, and I think he's a guy that doesn't get as much credit for how talented he is. Jacob Bond's a really good fighter. I think that's a nice feather in your cap, right? Would you agree that that's a signature win for yourself?
I think so. I mean, the kid's tough as nails. He is pretty well-rounded. I think he's a gatekeeper for the Northeast. I was happy to get that win and to finish him too. He's had a lot of decision losses. So to finish him convincingly was a big win for me.
And obviously, we've talked about it a little bit, but you were at Young's MMA for a good portion of your career, pretty much all of it, right up until recently. What has that transition been like for you now to go from Young's to Vision Quest?
It's been a smooth transition. I did accomplish a lot with Young's, but I felt like I plateaued there. So, I had to move on. And, now I'm at Vision Quest where I continue to blossom and continue to evolve. So.
Tell me a little bit more about your relationship with Primo and working there. What makes him such a great head coach?
Primo, he's so knowledgeable, man. He's just like he's knowledgeable. The energy that he brings, and he just doesn't. There's a great instructor-student relationship. He's there to joke around and stuff like that, but when it's time to get serious and put in work, he's there, man. And he showed me all this intricacy parts of Muay Thai, of striking, and it's just like every day I'm just like I'm smiling from ear to ear because he literally blows my mind, man, and it's humbling because I was like, I thought I was okay, and I wasn't as good as I thought I was because he knows so much, man. It's mind blowing and it's humbling to work with him.
This might be a silly question, but is Primo ever going to compete again, or are those days behind him?
I think those days are behind him. But if you see him in the back alley and you owe him $20, he might.
Okay, fair enough. Let's talk a little bit about your training partners. Let's just start with Josh Harvey. Obviously, he's a former training partner at Young's. You've known him and been around him for a very, very long time now. I got to imagine he's the main guy you're going with. Let's just talk about that fight he just had with Adley Edwards. Obviously, didn't turn out the way that you guys all wanted it to. What do you feel like is the takeaway from the Vision Quest perspective from that loss to Adley?
Like Josh told me, man, he just didn't get that switch. He wasn't able to switch mentally, and that shit happens sometimes in fighting where you just can't find that zone. I've been there before, and it happened that night, and it is what it is, and we're just on to the next one.
Obviously, the big elephant in the room is the weight class situation for Josh. Fighting at wanting to fight at 45, but not being able to make it there and missing weight again for the second time in a row. Is this a situation now where he's just going to have to fight at lightweight moving forward?
Yeah, he's a lightweight guy. He's just too thick. He's got that thick body, So he's a 55er from here on out. A lot of people don't know this, but I mean, with the pandemic, he didn't fight for 2 years either. And in 2 years, you put on some size and stuff like that. So he was trying to make 45, not realizing that he had put on size and hadn't fought in 2 years. So now he knows that, and he tried to make it 45, couldn't, and now we're moving to 55.
Now, I know. I thought you were supposed to actually go to New Orleans with him and Primo for this fight. What happened with that?
Complications with TSA. I don't want to talk about it. No, I'm just kidding. Flights kept getting canceled. It was like I was reading about that whole weekend. Like 3,000 flights got canceled. And I was supposed to fly out of Portland one day. They canceled that flight. I got a flight for Bangor the next day. They canceled that flight, and then at that point, it was like I would have gotten there. I would have had to fly out Saturday, and it was just too complicated, too stressful. So I shut it down.
Do you know exactly what happened with, getting closer to like actual weigh-ins, why he was off by so much? Like, did they just shut it down at a certain point where they thought it might've been dangerous for him to cut any more weight?
Honestly, I'm not really sure if the commission shut it down or if the promotion or what happened. I just know that they agreed at 55, and that's what the fight was at. So,
gotcha. Tell me a little bit more about the guys at Vision Quest, other guys that you're training with. I see you guys are in there all the time, putting in hard work.
Yeah, we got a great group of guys. We have Timothy, Julian, Randall, Brandon, Austin, Chainsaw. We just a bunch of killers, man. A bunch of killers. Josh, obviously. And it's just a great room with a great group of guys. And it's just it's refreshing to have that type of energy. We're joking around, we laugh, but when it's time to put in work, we put in work, man. And we're just I don't know, it's just like a bunch of brothers where we're trying to push each other, but like there's no animosity. We're just there to make each other better. And being the older guy, it's just nice to see the camaraderie that we have. The joking and like just messing around with each other, the jokes that we have, shitting on each other but still pushing each other. It's just a good fucking time, man, and it's just nice to be around.
And what's that travel like for you to get to Vision Quest in Newport? Is it easy, or are you spending more time right there in Newport?
Well, a couple days a week, I'll stay right in Newport for the whole day and stuff like that. It's not that bad of a trek. I live in Bangor, so it's like right off the interstate. But I do sleep. I do stay the night, one night a week. I just think it's more gas efficient, just stay the night and stuff like that. But also at the same time, just like it's a mental thing where I'm that dedicated. Where I'm staying the night at the gym and whatnot. But it's honestly, it's not that bad. When I tell people I train in Newport, they're just like, "Oh my God, they're so fun." It's like a 25-minute drive. It's not that bad at all.
Yeah. And are you in there 2 or 3 times a day working out? Like, what is your schedule like during fight camp?
So I'm doing 2 days, but like in the mornings I'm there 5 days a week, actually 6 days a week. And then I'll do my conditioning at night, and then On Wednesdays, I'll do my MIT session with Primo and the Muay Thai class, and then I teach the gi class Wednesday nights too at vision class.
Okay, so you're a busy guy. And as far as like a job goes, you must be working outside of just the gym too, right?
Yeah, I'm working at Pepino's downtown in Bangor. I actually just got Employee of the Week. It's not a big deal. Probably the best thing that's ever happened to him. But that's just an award we made up. They gave it to me to make me feel good. But yeah, I'm working over there too, like 3-4 nights a week too. So I'm pretty busy.
For sure. Are you catching up watching the UFC fights? Like, did you watch 273 this past weekend?
I was able to watch a little bit. I had a man cold this weekend. So I was it was like a grade 2 man cold, and so I went to bed pretty early, but I was able to watch the highlights the next day. Kamzat is he's no joke, man. That guy's terrifying.
So that was going to be my next question. Right? How do you think Kamzat fares against a Colby Covington or a Kamaru Usman?
I don't think he can like bang with those guys like he was with Burns. I just think the other guys, especially Usman, he's just too technical. So he'll have to get a different game plan going against those the top 2 guys. But I mean, the kid's tough as nails, and he's hungry. And as you know, the person going up the mountain is a lot hungrier than the man on top of the mountain. So it'll be an interesting fight.
One last question about the UFC welterweight division. My all-time favorite fighter, George St. Pierre, for my money, is still the GOAT at 170. Is he, or has Usman caught George St. Pierre?
Well, that's the thing, man. Is like it's a different beast nowadays. Like Usman's fighting a lot like better quality of fighters. I think like back in the day, there was more like one-dimensional guys. Usman's fighting guys that are just well-rounded. So I think Usman's taking it, man. I feel like he's taking it.
Okay, well, we can agree to disagree, but that's all right. I always appreciate your opinion on all of that, man. Let's dive into this fight with Mark Gardner. NEF 47, May the 14th. It's going to be the battle of Lewiston and Auburn down there in the southern part of the state. Obviously, you're going to have Primo there in your corner. I would imagine Josh. Anyone else that you're going to have right there in your corner come fight night?
Primo and Josh, but then all my boys will be right there with me. They'll be in the cage after I win. The whole Vision Quest team, we roll deep.
Okay, I've seen you guys, and you got the VQ MT hat on, which looks very nice. Mark Gardner, I'd say this is kind of a tricky fight because this is a big dude too. Like, he's thick. He's coming off a really impressive comeback win against Nick Alley, a round 2 victory, where he was in a lot of trouble. I mean, we've seen his skill set on the ground. We know how good he is there. Stylistically, break this fight down for me, man. What kind of a game plan do you think he's going to try and bring towards you to come fight night?
I think his game plan is going to be just a hope and a prayer. Just kidding. No, the thing is actually I was standing cage side for that fight with him and Ali, and it was back and forth. I think he's got a lot of holes, and obviously he trains at the academy, so he's got a decent ground game. The kid's tough as nails, and he is a big dude. I just think I have a better skill set, a deeper skill set, and the more experience. And I just think I'm able to drag him into deep waters. I'm not really sure what his game plan will be with me, but whatever version he comes up with, whatever he decides to show up with, I just think that we'll have a better game plan. And I just think that my skill set, it will just be better than his.
Are you training with Primo and the guys there at Vision Quest, where putting yourself like in the worst possible situation as far as a jiu-jitsu aspect goes, to kind of make sure that you've checked all those boxes, that you're ready in case you are in a bad spot?
We just drill positional stuff like every ground session is always positional in nature, and working from bottom and stuff like that. I've always been a ground guy anyways. That's my forte. So like wherever the fight goes on the ground, I've been there 1,000 times in every position and stuff like that. And I know he does do some slick stuff, but I feel pretty comfortable on the ground. So if the fight ends up there, that's my second home anyways. I'm sure Primo will be yelling at me not to go to my back and whatnot. But we have a few tricks up our sleeve. So, I'm not too worried about it.
If this stays on the feet, how do you feel like your stand-up skills match up against his?
I just think that my skill set is far superior than his in striking.
Okay. Well, give me your prediction, man. How do you envision this fight ending? How do you get your hand raised?
I'm not too worried about that, man. Like previously I would always be like, oh, it's gonna be this, that, stuff like that. I have 15 minutes to let the fight unfold, and I just know that after that a lot of time, I'm gonna have my hand raised, and eventually I'll give him enough reasons to make his voice chirp, where he'll give me something, and then I'll get my hand raised. So I don't have any prediction or anything like that. I just know I'm winning. It depends on how much heart he has, how much he wants to go, and how much he's willing to take.
All right, and I have no doubt that we'll do another interview after this fight. But when you look forward to the rest of 2022 and beyond, like I got to imagine you're trying to stay as active as possible, right? Like, what are your goals for what's next after this one?
I'd like to say, yeah, I'd like to say very busy. I am getting older. It's a short window for fighting. I feel great. I've been rehabbing. Doing a lot of yoga and whatnot. I just want to fight as often as I can. The thing is, though, is I've been trying to fight since September, and thankfully, Mark is a real man and took this fight because no one else wanted it. We had fights. My name offered to top 3, top 5 guys, and they all said no. So if there's, the thing is, there's still a lot of cowards in this sport, and hopefully some people will step up after. And I'm thankful for Mark for stepping up because no one else would. So we'll see.
If you don't get a call up to the big show, whether it's the UFC, Bellator, or another big time promotion, is there someone regionally that you think would make sense after this fight? If you get the win, that is.
Honestly, I haven't really kept tabs on it, man. Like I've been out the game and stuff like that, so I've just been focusing on training and the fact that my eyes just solely on Mark right now. I'm solely focused on Mark and May 14th, and there's nothing after that.
Okay, good enough, man. Ryan, great talking to you as always. Can't wait to see you back in there again, May 14th, NEF 47, Ryan Sanders, Mark Gardner. It's going to be a banger of a fight. Before I let you go, I want to give you the floor. Tell people where to follow you on social media. If you have any sponsors anyone to thank, the floor is yours.
I don't have any sponsors, man. I just Vision Quest Muay Thai. Yeah, come check it out. Primo has got his shit together. It's a great gym. It's a great atmosphere. I'm on the Facebook. Just Ryan Sanders. I'm the guy that just posts random shit and usually just pictures of training and stuff like that. Occasionally, I'll get drunk and say something stupid, but that's about it.